Hello everyone, this is Rex Hilton. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Much love and appreciation. I'm here at the absolutely gorgeous Felipe Park in beautiful Safety Harbor, Florida. And on this video, I want to share with you a little bit about who I am and what I've been through and where I see myself going in life. And part of what's inspired me to do this is that I've been doing life coaching for quite a while, and that is one of my biggest purposes in life, is helping other people. It's what I'm passionate about. And I've teamed up with Justine Clifton, and we are Team Source Inspirations. And so part of this is just to let people know where I've been, what I've been through, so other people can relate to me and realize, okay, I'm not the only one that goes through whatever situation it may be in life. I'm currently 31 years old. I was born in Santa Clara, California in 1982, and I lived in California for about 9 years. I was raised in a Scientology family, and when we were 9 years old, my parents packed me and my two younger sisters up and moved us to Clearwater, Florida, and life went basically like most childhood life would. It went to school, hung out with friends, studied, did stuff on the weekend. Nothing really too exciting. One thing I forgot to mention, when I was 7, I had been sexually molested by my dad had a machine shop there in California, and a neighboring shop, one of the guys that his son was about 14 years old, 12, 13, 14, I was 7, and I had to whatever happened. It was a couple-hour situation that happened, and at the time I didn't know any better. I was 7 years old, and here's someone I kind of looked up to because they're older than me, and I learned a lot from it. I didn't really think a whole lot was wrong with it because I didn't know any better, and also didn't know anyone that had been through anything like that, so I had no one to even relate to or bring it up as a topic. It was just my own reality for myself, and I didn't even really know how to share about it. And when I was 12 years old, it happened again, and this was over a prolonged period of a couple weeks. And this time, I thought there was something wrong with it. It was someone older than me, someone that I looked up to, and this went on, and at that point, I did end up getting stressed about it. I didn't tell anyone about it till I think I was 18 or 19 years old, when at that point, being raised in a Scientology family, you're pretty secluded from the outside world, and they do quite a good job of hiding you from other people and stuff like that. So I didn't really have anyone I could relate to on it. And at around 18 years old, I started realizing that Scientology was definitely not for me. I realized that I think it has some good values and some good morals, but me personally, I am not a believer in organized religion. I am totally very much a spiritual person. For me, it's all within. I know my happiness comes from within. I know the situations that are going on in my life are because I created them. And so for me, at around 18 years old, I started meeting other people that had situations or experiences like this. So I knew that I wasn't the only one. And in a way, this made me feel better. I could talk about it now. I was more open about it. Now, obviously, I'm sharing it with the world, so I'm completely open with it. And it gave me a lot of respect for other people. I have a huge respect for women, and I'm not sure how that plays together with it, but I just know that for myself, the golden rule, treat others as how thou wish to be treated, is very important to me. Obviously, everyone wants to be treated well, so you're going to treat other people well. And when I was 22 years old, I was involved in a motorcycle wreck. I was on a 2004 Kawasaki ZX-10, and I was on the way back from Tampa, which is about 25 miles from Clearwater, and the rear shock on my motorcycle blew out at 130 miles an hour. The truck driver, the one driver, it was almost about 2 in the morning when I wrecked, and I did have a passenger with me, and the truck driver said I passed him doing about 130 miles an hour, and he figured that I hit the guardrail at about 110. I ended up shattering my knee into the guardrail, breaking my femur that broke through the femoral artery, bled out probably, I think they said 4 or 5, 6 units of blood before I got to the hospital. I broke my pelvis in 4 spots, which is one of the worst bones to break, because if it collapses in, there's nothing they can do about it. You bleed internally and you die. They gave me about a 5% chance, I think it was, to live through this, just because I had gone through so much damage. my passenger, she was a lot better off. She had a broken arm, a broken leg, and a broken nose, and a little bit of road rash, and she was out of the hospital, I think, in about a week and a half. I was in for 9 weeks. I ended up getting my right leg amputated above the knee, which has actually turned out to be a huge blessing in my life. I have fun with it every day. I drilled glow sticks in the holes in the prosthetic so I can put glow sticks in it when I go out sometimes, which is very entertaining, and a lot of people see it and they're like, dude, that's awesome, you make the best out of it. And that's exactly what life is about. And I'd say it's about a year after I lost my leg. Most of my friends at the time when I wrecked were all motorcycle friends, so that's all the people I had to hang out with. And so when I wrecked and was wheelchair bound for 6 to 9 months because of the broken pelvis, I didn't really have anyone to hang out with. All my friends were bikers. And so my mom invited me to go hang out with where she worked at one of the Scientology branches, and me being a social person and liking to talk to people and hang out with people, thought it was, sure, why not? It's going to give me a chance to socialize again, and not on the internet. MySpace came into my life. Yep, MySpace, if you remember that. Came into my life after I lost my leg, just because I was sitting at home in a wheelchair and had nothing to do. I ended up getting in trouble with these Scientology kids. Most of them were younger than me. There was drinking involved and stuff like that. But it was mainly, in my opinion, and from other Scientologists that have been kicked out that I've talked to, that it was that I was speaking the truth of what I thought the church was doing wrong. And ended up getting kicked out, and so my parents ended up getting a divorce from that eventually, and ended up spending some time homeless, living in the truck that I had, panhandling, doing whatever it took to get money to survive. And here I am today, happy as I've ever been. Things are going absolutely amazing for me, and I'm truly, truly blessed in my life. And what I learned with being kicked out of Scientology is that, well, another just an aspect in life is when you find out who your true friends are. You find out the people who are willing to stay connected to you because they see who you truly are. And if you're a good person, the good people that are truthful, and especially to themselves, are going to realize that and stay associated with you. And when I was 25 years old, I was involved in another motorcycle wreck. I hit a patch of dew or oil on a dewy night and slid out, and my stomach hit a speed limit sign, of all things, at about 35 miles an hour, and I split my intestine and broke my pancreas. I was instantly rushed down to the closest hospital, where I was there for about 12 hours, I think, when they finally realized how bad off I was. And they Bay-flighted me, which is the cool helicopter around this area, to Bayfront Medical Center in downtown St. Pete, which is an absolutely huge facility. And I spent 3 months there. I ended up having 7 feet of my intestine removed. I ended up getting a colostomy bag for a year and a half. And obviously, being that injured, they're going to keep you on a lot of pain medication. And with that, as soon as I got out, wasn't able to work, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to the pain management clinic, and I'm going to be able to keep myself out of pain, and I'm also going to have pills that I can sell to people, because here in Florida it's getting better, it seems like. I have no association with it anymore, thankfully. I've got 4.5 years clean now. August 5th of 09, or August 15th of 09 is my clean date, which I take very seriously, and I am very proud of it. But I got into that whole game, started out day one, doing it as prescribed, taking them orally, and within 3 months I was shooting them up intravenously. I got to the point at the end of my addiction that I was at over 1,500 milligrams a day between roxicodone, oxy, dilaudid, Valium, Lunesta, Klonopin, Xanax, Valium, I think I said that one, and a whole array of other things, doing cocaine, doing meth once in a while, and really I ended up overdosing 8 times. I think 5 of them were hospital related. And my final one is I OD'd in front of my dad, my sister, and her now husband, who I have total respect for all 3 of them. And the last thing I remember, I was sitting in my wheelchair, was still smoking cigarettes at the time, and sitting in my wheelchair smoking a cigarette after shooting up. And I remember my sister coming up to me, and the last thing I remember is, Rex, are you okay? And I woke up what I think is about 2 days later, and finally said, all right, I'm willing to accept the help and go to rehab and get myself clean. And through that, I mean, there's times I woke up the next day with friends saying, dude, last night was so insane. I'm like, what are you talking about? We stayed here, we didn't do anything. They're like, dude, we were out driving around, you almost ran people off the road. And I look back on this, I'm amazingly blessed that I never got in any legal trouble over this. I'm truly blessed that I never hurt anyone through it and didn't hurt myself any more than I did. And with all that, I've gained so much. One of my biggest passions now, one of my biggest business goals is my Infinity Detox and Nutritional Center, which I have a 14-page business plan that I'm working on. Super, super excited about it because it's not just for people that are suffering with drug addiction. It's for people that want to learn the organic and holistic lifestyle. It's people that want to further a specified education. It's for people that want to learn vocational skills. And it's people, even if you just wanted a vacation to get away, we will cater to that as well. So my goals in life are absolutely huge. After that, I got clean and got my colostomy bag reversal surgery while I was in Washington State for rehab as well. It was the day after my birthday, one of the best birthday presents I've ever had. And having the colostomy bag was probably the most depressing time of my life. I was 26 to 28 when I had it. And pooping in a bag attached to your stomach, as funny as it kind of sounds, and as much as I did try and make jokes with it, is not a laughing matter at all. I remember one of the first girls I dated while I had the bag, the first night I spent the night at her house, the bag broke and I had poop everywhere, and I snuck out of the house and cleaned up as best as I could, as bad as that sounds, and got to my truck and hauled ass home so I could take a shower. And that day I seriously contemplated suicide. It had hit me that hard. I was still in the middle of addiction at that time, so I was still completely mentally drained. Using that much drugs every day, it just completely dragged me down. And there was many situations like that, situations where the bag broke in public, and I'm not one to embarrass easily, but I have to say that was extremely embarrassing. Colostomy poo is about 1,000 times worse than regular, which thankfully happens now. And so for me, that was a huge blessing getting that reversed. And after that, I moved to Ohio for about a year and a half with a bunch of family that I had never met, who are absolutely awesome. The majority of them are in the Christian faith, so I started going to church, went to 3 different churches. At one of them, I shared my story. It was about a 45-minute speech in front of, I think, about 200 people. And I noticed that I'm very good at communication. I was able to take people on an emotional roller coaster, from going from crying like, wow, he went through that, to laughing with making jokes about my leg, to utter amazement of things that I've been through and been able to pull myself through. And after about a year and a half, I went back to Washington because I had never actually done the sauna detox program. I was still clean, but I wanted to actually go do the detox program through the sauna using vitamins and minerals and organic food. And that is also part of the program that I will soon be offering to anyone that wants to cleanse their body of toxins, regardless if it's drugs, alcohol, chemicals from workplace environment, or chemicals from food, or whatever it may be. And I was in Washington State for a while, did that. It was absolutely an amazing and spiritual experience. It's during the winter, and I'm absolutely a winter person. I love the snow, I love skiing. One-leg skiing is absolutely amazing, especially when you hit a bump and fly and fall and your ski goes one place and one leg goes like this all over the place, and you look up and people are just in utter shock of, wow, I just saw a gimp fly down a mountain. That was interesting. And so for me, there's so much I see that life has to offer, especially now. I've made it through all these things, and with being in Washington and that spiritual experience, and then moving to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which is by far my favorite place that I've been to so far. I got there, first time going there was at night, and I felt like I was at home for the first time in an actual location, and didn't even know what the place looked like until the next day. When I saw it the next day, I'm like, wow, this place is absolutely amazing. I hope to build a life here one day. I ended up moving back to Clearwater about 6 months later, and I have been here since, and I am now teamed up with Justine Clifton, and we are working on Team Source Inspirations and MyRex RX Life Coaching and Infinity Detox and Nutrition and Empower Network and Carrot Bar's Gold System. So we have a lot going on. I am super excited about all of these. I'm going to cut this video in a little bit. It's gone on a little bit longer than I thought, and I've got some few more videos that I want to do today. So I'm glad that I got to share with you a part of my past and a real brief glimpse of what my goals are, and those will be coming in near future videos. So I want to thank all of you for taking your time out of your day to spend it with me to watch what I have to share about my life. Thank you very much. Much love. Namaste.